Well, let's focus on Tata Power. As promised, well, the company has has partnered with Sanyo Special Steel Manufacturing to set up a 28 megawatt AC captive solar plant here in Maharashtra. To help us out with details on that and a whole host of other issues, we have Mr. Praveer Sinha, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, who joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Sinha. Good to see you, and thanks so much for joining here on CNBC-TV18. Well, let's start off by talking about the capex targeted on the charging infra. What is the return on the investment here? And what is the timeline that you've planned for increased chargers on road?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show. In EV charging, there are three components. First is the home charging, where we make a good margin because it's on a cost-plus basis that we do. And for providing the EV charger as well as the services, there is a fee that we charge. And that's one part of the business which is profitable. The second part of the business is the fleet charging that we do and also the bus charging. There again, it is on a cost-plus basis, and there is a good return that we get on these. The only space where the returns have not come as yet is the public charging, which is not a very large component. At present, we are having nearly 5,000 EV chargers, which are public chargers on highways and cities. That's where the utilization factor is still very low. It's about 2%. We do expect now that the range anxiety which people used to have is no more there, and people are now seeing that you have charger availabilities even on highways, even in different cities. So I do get a lot of calls saying that, yes, we went to this place, and people travel from Delhi to Chandigarh or Delhi to Jammu or Delhi to Nainital or Dehradun, and they get chargers right across, also in south and west of India. So I think out of the 500 highways, we are there on nearly 350 plus highways. So I think once the charger utilization increases and the penetration of electric vehicle increases, we'll start making returns on that. But this is an area where we have to be present to ensure that the whole EV ecosystem becomes very strong.
Mr. Sinha, good morning. You know, it's a long-term story, right? I mean, electric vehicles, electrification of automobiles. How large can this business be for Tata Power? Can this be a very meaningful business? Very large in size. I mean, any broad numbers you can share with us, sir?
See, now you need to look at it not as standalone businesses in silos, but also in the energy services business, which Tata Power is working on. And we now provide end-to-end customer solutions, which is rooftop solar, energy management, energy services as such, EV charging, distribution services. So I think we need to look at it that in totality, I'm supplying and servicing the consumer for their total electrification requirement. And this is a very, very important component when we talk about decentralized generation and decentralized usage of energy by the consumers. So I think we need to look at it and how each one of them will hold the other and thereby build the stickiness in the business. And that's what is important. So you need to look at it in totality rather than looking at them as a piecemeal service.
So in totality, how large can this business be? Energy services, as you called it.
So like today, we have 50,000 home chargers. I expect in next 5 years, this will become more than 500,000 home chargers. Similarly, there are now 7 cities in which we have EV charging for buses. It's increasing tremendously. Recently, the bid for 5,000 buses in different cities have been found that we are virtually doing everywhere. It's in Srinagar, it's in Jammu, it's in Calcutta, it's in Delhi. So every city now is going for EV buses, and this is becoming a reality with the support from the government. So I think this is a huge business which will grow in the next couple of years with more and more EV penetration that will happen. Similarly, battery swapping is becoming a very large business. And for both two and three-wheelers, we are working with many of the OEMs to see that how these battery swapping stations takes place, and we provide them the support in terms of the EV charging infrastructure. So I think the market has just started its tip of the iceberg, but going forward, this will be a huge business for Tata Power.
All right, Mr. Sinha, so we got that out of the way. Let's focus on the renewable energy part of your business. What kind of addition are you looking at in the renewable energy vertical? Could it be, 2 gigawatts per year? What kind of capex will you have? And ultimately, what are the returns you see out there?
So right now we have 4 gigawatt of existing operational assets of renewable, nearly 3 gigawatt of solar and 1 of wind. We have a pipeline of nearly 4 gigawatt, which is there. Some of it is, of course, third-party EPC, but nearly 2 gigawatt is our own in-house projects, which we develop as utility scale. Also, what we are seeing is that there is a huge push on group captive projects, and large number of industries are coming forward. A few months back, we signed the agreement with Tata Steel for nearly 1,000 megawatt of hybrid project. We have since then signed with many industries in the country, and there are many in the pipeline. And we expect that every year we will be adding about 2 to 2.5 gigawatt of capacity, either through the group captive route or through the utility scale. So I think we'll have a very good portfolio mix of these type of projects. And this year we have a capex plan of nearly 8,000 crores in renewable out of the total 12,000 crores in Tata Power. So I think we are all geared up for the growth that we are looking. But yes, we have always been conscious that our growth will be very, very calibrated, so that the type of returns that we expect comes from a mix of both utility scale as well as the group captive projects.
Okay, so utilities and group captive projects, it'll be a mix of that. But can you tell us in general, how is the power demand trending like in FY24? What kind of growth are you looking at? And what is the, blended PLFs at the moment, and what is the expectation as we move along?
So last 1 month, I would say that the power demand has gone up, which we were at around 215 to 220 gigawatt, is now 230 gigawatt plus. In fact, last few days, it has gone to 234 and 235 gigawatt. So there is a huge demand. The monsoons have got the second phase of the monsoon is going slow, and because of that, there is a lot of humidity and a lot of requirement of power that we see. And we expect that if the monsoon does not improve, then this demand will definitely continue up to end October. And you can see the exchange prices also going up. In fact, both in morning and evening, it is peaking at 10 rupees. So I think there is a very good demand. Overall, we saw in the earlier months, we didn't have that sort of demand, but now it has picked up. And I do expect a 5 to 6% growth on an annualized basis.
Mr. Sinha, is this what we're seeing over the last couple of weeks? Peak deficits, etc., demand at all-time highs. Is there also a one-off-ish kind of element? I understand there was a nuclear power plant which was undergoing maintenance, etc. Once that is back on stream, that perhaps will, or is this more structural? I mean, you see this, staying like this, very high demand, because on the thermal side, not very much capacity has come on stream. New capacity has come on stream over the last many years now. We recently heard NTPC coming up with an announcement to invest 15,000 crores into a new large thermal power plant. So just wanted your thoughts there.
This is a demand growth that we have seen. Last year, the demand growth was nearly 10%. So prior to that, we were somewhere at the peak demand of 180 gigawatt. Last year, we came to 210. And this year we are at 230 plus. So I think the demand growth has been there. Basically, we have seen that there is a huge consumption right across, whether it is in industries, commercial or residential. And with the weather sometimes not being as predicted, the demand goes up because there is more of agriculture requirement as well as the commercial and the residential requirement. So I think the demand is going to stay over here. It is only going to increase. A lot of capacity additions, especially in the renewable, which got delayed last year because of the supply challenges from China. I think this year it is sorted out, and you will see that in next 12 to 18 months, a lot of capacity addition will happen in the renewable space. Some of the other areas of the conventional generation has been going slow because as a country, we took a stand that we will be 500 gigawatt by 2030, 300 capacity has to be added in next 7 years. So I think there is a whole lot of action that is taking place, both by the industry as well as by the government and regulatory system. And we'll start seeing good results in next 12 to 18 months.
All right, we'll leave it at that, sir. Thanks a lot for joining in, and have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. That's Tata Power by